Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for office hours. We're really excited that you're here. Thank you again. We're really excited. This is our first one, so it's going to be really casual. They'll always be really casual, but the best thing we can have from all of you is questions and feedback because we don't want this session to just be us talking at you. We want to really be interactive and hear more of your feedback, your questions. So feel free to add those in the chat. Another thing we love to hear about is where you're tuning in from. Omar and I are from opposite ends of the world, so it's really fun to know where all of you are at. And then also, I really like to hear about what you're using Leadpages for currently, or if you're not using Leadpages, what you would potentially want to use Leadpages for. That also helps us guide us to what we could cover as well. But without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Omar to intro a little bit about himself and get started.
Hey everyone. Yeah, super exciting session. Of course, first office hours. And since we've rebuilt the new platform, if you guys been poking around Leadpages, lots of big changes if you're a legacy customer, of course. But we knew this was the perfect timing for all of this because, since evolving the latest version of Leadpages to what it is now, we've been rolling out features pretty much every week, right? Like so it's at a really, really fast pace. And so we thought it would be really important to have these bi-weekly office hour sessions that we can connect with you guys, engage with everyone, and sort of ask for your feedback, show you around what's new, what's coming up, and really just give you just stay in touch with all of you. Sorry, that's just a notification. Let me cancel that. But yeah, what we'd love to talk about today is we're gonna really focus on the builder itself. So that's sort of the focus for today. That's the pillar of the product, of course, no doubt. But what I'd love to also understand, as Stacey mentioned earlier, is what's sort of your background, right? Like, are you founders? Are you part of the marketing team? Are you designers? We'd love to know that because any feedback, any piece of feedback that you do give us, the context of that feedback is so important to us. Depending on your background, we'll sort of approach that feedback in a different way, possibly. So start to let us know. Cool, we've got some people in the house. Hey, everyone. Hey, Stefan.
We have lots of people in Minneapolis, which is where I'm from, so it's nice to see everyone. Well, I should say I'm in Eden Prairie because Thomas put the actual suburb, so I'm in Eden Prairie.
Awesome. We got Thomas Knoll as well. Hey, Marielle. Cool. So we got someone using Leadpages to do reviews of our pages. Okay, cool. Lots of people, existing customers. It seems if you're new to Leadpages, we'd love to know that. Or if you're a legacy customer using the classic version of Leadpages, let us know. But yeah, also let us know what you value. What are you looking to improve? Is it your time? Do you value your time? Do you value ease of use? Do you value perhaps operating at scale? Do you value producing, multiple? Do you run multiple landing pages for your campaigns? Do you work with clients? Do you run an agency? Are you running ad funnels? Are you running perhaps like you're generating traffic from social media and you've got a social media funnel, perhaps a personal branding funnel? We'd love to know that. But yeah. Cool. With that, I'm going to start sharing my screen. We'll jump straight into a demo session. And while we're demoing, like as Stacey's mentioned, we don't want this to be all about us or just a demo session. We'd truly love to engage with all of you to make this session as fruitful as possible. Right? So sound like a deal? Cool. Okay, let me see if I can get my share screen running. So there we go. Let me switch over. So just trying to figure out the technicalities of this new platform. Perfect. There we are. So we've now, we're inside of the dashboard, inside of the latest version of Leadpages. And where we're going to start is with building. One thing that I want to make note of is the latest version of Leadpages stems from 3 pillars of our mission, which is build, optimize, and analyze. And I'd say optimize and analyze are 2 parts of the same puzzle, as in, you would optimize, you would analyze the insights of the traffic and the audience that is coming and interacting with your page and optimize it based on that, right? And so it's an important sort of premise or fundamental pillar of the entire experience. And so with that, we'll jump into creating a page. We make it really easy for you to, of course, create your pages. I'd like to actually break up the session into two parts. How I Right, because I'm actually dog fooding Leadpages at the moment with my own campaigns, and so I'd love to show you how I prefer to make pages, as well as what could be the easiest way for you to also build your pages. And so this could resonate differently with depending on your background, right, and how you like to create your pages. But we'll jump into the create page area, and you can see there's lots of options over here, as you can see, but really it's about just describing what your page is about and what you're trying to do with your campaign. So it starts at the prompt, and I would you could use one of these preset prompts at the bottom. You can see over here that let's go with like high converting landing page, and let's just say we're doing an AI automations agency. Now, if you do have some assets to go with that, like a brand kit, or some branding assets, maybe you might have a logo. You can just drag and drop that or add it inside using one of these options over here to attach those files. And that just informs the AI agent to build with better context, right? So I'm going to go ahead and actually have a page that I created with Leadpages. Just close these tabs. Oops, let me see. I've got tons of tabs on the open. There we go. Okay, so I've got a page over here that I created earlier. Interestingly, I use Leadpages to build a brand concept, which is interesting. So you can see here, and we'll go through this in a moment. And something I want to highlight is that, yes, Leadpages stems from building landing pages to capture leads. That is our mission, to make it easy for you to capture leads. That hasn't changed, but the mission has deepened a little bit, right? But it's interesting that you can use this AI agent to also build out a full brand, right? From what you can see over here. This is what I built earlier. So I'm actually going to copy this link and I'll paste it right inside of my prompt field to give it better context. Now, you might have, of course, a website of an existing business. You might have some brand guidelines or something you have already. I built this out just purely as a concept. Let's go ahead and see what happens if we use that context of a page of a brand guideline with this prompt. So I'll let this run, but while that's running, I'm going to open another tab, and I'd love to also show you how easy it is to create. Like if you're coming to Leadpages with no brand, or you might have a new a business idea that you want to launch, and perhaps you have a personal brand. Might want to launch a coaching segment or sort of part of wing of that brand. You could, it's an incredible place for you to experiment with ideas, right? So I would just go to create page and just brain dump in this prompt field of this specific idea, ask it to create a brand guideline page for you. Let's go ahead and try that out. I run by the way, I'm voice prompting, just so if you're confused with why I'm speaking, it's just easier to voice prompt. You can use the mic feature right over here to voice prompt, but I'm going to voice prompt this in. So anyway, let me start that again. So, okay, I've got the statement there, what I just said. But yeah, voice prompting this in. I run a AI automations business. I want to come up with a brand guideline for it to use glitchy effects with a vibrant green and beautiful textures that make it feel retro futuristic. Let's see what happens with that. So retrofuturism is a bit of a specific theme that we're trying to aim for, and let's see if the agent kind of nails that. So while that's running, I'm going to go back to my previous page and see the agent's still running, adding the finishing touches. So this page should be ready in a moment, right? So we'll give it a moment. And while that's happening, let's see what's happening in the comments. We got Tiffany running an ad funnel. Nice. Let's just show some of these. Super cool. So I loved seeing this, that there's brand new customers as well exploring Leadpages. For context, Leadpages, as mentioned earlier, we've gone through a huge, I wouldn't say a pivot, but an overhaul to keep up with technology, right? I guess it's important.
Yeah, speed is amazing. I would say I've been here for 9 years at Leadpages, and this is the fastest we've ever built. If you've been a customer for a while, you probably will notice this is the fastest we ever built, so it's pretty exciting time.
100%. And I think it almost feels like, I don't know if Stacey, if you feel the same way, but you know, everyone's playing catch up with AI, right? We're constantly in this process of playing catch up. And I think that's how everyone feels, and us included as a team, which we knew, like, as what we notice in the industry is that there's plenty of tools to show on building stuff, right? With Leadpages, you can build landing pages. But I think the real gap that we notice, while there's AI tools to build content, build apps, build landing pages, the real gap is the CRO aspect, and I think both legacy customers, I'm pretty sure from your view, Stacey, as you've been here a long time, as well as new customers, this is an area that has always been underserved, right, across the entire industry. So, like, I think what I'm really excited to see is dive into some of those features. Is we're really aiming to solve how we automate and optimize your pages through a suite of CRO features, and we'll go through those in a moment. So yeah, we've got this page built out. So just again, for context, if you recall, this was the page, the brand guideline that I built. Again, in Leadpages, by the way, right? It came up with this design, this brand concept. And I fed it into the prompt, and it built this beautiful landing page ready to collect leads, right? And from here, there's a plethora of ways to start editing and optimizing your page, which we'll go into in a moment. But let's see what's happening on the second page that we were building out earlier. The other approach I'd love to talk about as well is something. Ooh, go back here. Is templates as well, right? So perhaps you want to just get the ball rolling really fast, and that's okay. We have options for you to explore, and so this is a lot of people still want to have inspiration, and so a quick way of doing that is just going into the prompt field, clicking template, and then exploring these over here. Stacey, what's your favorite way of building out pages? Do you typically go straight to the prompt, or templates is your place?
I go to the prompt, but I'm gonna answer a question because I'm gonna show it on the screen just because I was answering this now. So, Tiffany says she's still on the classic builder, but because all of her legacy pages are there, what's your advice to shift to the new platform? And this is actually my favorite hack on moving to the new platform is I take the URL from the classic builder, I go to the prompt and I say, build me the exact same page that looks just like XYZ URL. And then I paste it and then let it go. And then it just recreates it for me. And it's the fastest way. That's what I would suggest to do. But I'll put my email in there as well. So if you run into trouble, you can reach out to me.
I love that. I think, yeah, one of the things that's important about these sessions, as we've kicked this off, is that we're here to definitely answer all of your questions. And as we evolve the office hours every 2 weeks, we'll dive into possibly, like, this session is dedicated to the builder itself. And then we'll have other people in the team possibly join these sessions to speak to some of the other aspects of the features, integrations and migration and pricing, all of those aspects. But we can definitely collect all of your questions today so that we can at least be prepared next time as well to answer them. So yeah, we were inside of templates. We're exploring some of these templates. Lots of cool templates for you to explore, a variety of themes as well. So do check those out. I will, again, in this third tab, I'll open up one of these. Let's see what we want to pick. I'll go with this one because it's got a nice hero section with an image, clothing brand. Build a boutique clothing brand for a Gen Z audience. Do you have any ideas of what we can add here, Stacy?
Ooh, a Gen Z audience. Let's see. Opening boutique, Gen Z audience. Let's say, are we trying to sell? Maybe promote our Memorial Day sale that's coming up for the U.S. This is a U.S. specific holiday, but maybe promoting our Memorial Day sale.
So lots of segments in this one prompt. Gen Z, Memorial Day, and US. So Memorial Day in US, right?
Yes, it'll be in a week. I think there's a Canada holiday this upcoming Monday too.
Cool. Let's give that a shot. See what happens. So the cool thing about templates is that it rolls off the template immediately, and then from there it starts to really pull in the requests via the prompt and start to curate based on the prompt, or re-edit the page versus based on the prompt that you submit. All right, so we're going back to the page. One thing I want to say, now that we've generated our pages and we showed you different ways of approaching it through the template, through the prompt, through a link or an asset that you may have, what I want to show you is the different ways of editing your page. And I think that's something that's super, I guess, underrated with the latest version of Leadpages. And plus, these features have been rolled out progressively since the relaunch of the new Leadpages. But the initial version, we didn't have a lot of manual editing, but with this new version, we do, right? And that's something that's really exciting about what you can do at Leadpages is this, like you can select any element and you can move it around. You can drag and drop like what you were familiar with in the classic Leadpages if you are a classic customer, right? And so we make it very easy for you to edit your page on the click if that's what you prefer. And of course, there's a huge advantage about this is that if you're making smaller tweaks and adjustments that are very specific, then you might want to do this versus run it through the agent, right? And on top of that, if you select any element, you'll notice that there's a nice little edit button over here that you can't miss. By clicking that, it will call up the inspector panel, and then you've got more controls for style, for layout, so on and so forth, right? And I think this is what makes the Leadpages, the latest Leadpages builder, so powerful. From anything that I've seen out there, actually, is that most building platforms really lock you in with the AI agent and direct all of your attention there. Whereas we wanted to make sure we solve for both cases, because I think people need that flexibility, right? If they're trying to aim for something very specific and they have something in their mind, we don't want to block them from just being able to execute directly on the page. And you can do just that. And just to expand on that, if you go to the add menu, you've got the ability to add your media files. You've got the ability to link up videos and save those videos for reuse, right? So you don't always have to be searching for links out in the ether to add it to your page. You can go into elements and you can explore all the different categories of elements that we have. And another really cool thing about the elements tab is that, guess what? All of the individual elements inside this list is automatically curated to the style of the page, right? It inherits the style of the page, which is really, really powerful. So you don't ever have to worry about re-customizing these elements when you add them on the page, because it just automatically inherits that. You can embed elements from the embed option over here, and you can also build out custom elements too through the AI generation system right over here.
Omar, I'm going to have you answer a question that just came in. A simple question. Can I add my own purchase fonts?
That is a good question. At this point, we have the ability to build out the brand kit. And I believe that we have an option to upload fonts. If it's not available right now, it should be available soon. So yeah, that's a good question, but I don't have a direct answer whether or not it's available at this very moment. I know we'd have it planned. And going back to
it's available, so you can upload your fonts. I should have set you up better, but yes.
This is our director of product right in the comments, so we can rely on his words for sure. Thank you, Eric. He saved us there. But yeah, so that gives you a lot of customization, of course. Google Fonts library, of course, is really vast. So if you are rocking a specific font, it's, in many cases, it's likely available because of the Google library in the integration in the builder itself. Yeah, so going back into elements. So we have all these options to add elements. And when you select, for example, the button, it is a click drop approach. So you don't have to worry about, sort of how you add it on the page is really seamless. It's similar to what you're used to when it comes to dragging elements on a page in a typical drag drop builder. The difference here is you just move your cursor where you want it and you click to drop it in. And something I want to show you as well is, so we built up this page from a brand guideline as showed. We can also build the brand kit from the page, right? So imagine you generate a raw page just from an idea, and you didn't have a brand kit in mind. You don't have any logo assets or anything. You're sort of just building on cue without a specific brand available. What you can do is take this page and then build a brand kit from it, from the current page, with just a single click. So let's go ahead and do that. Notice how the system now analyzes your logos, your palette, your typography, your images, and then your voice. And just like that, it's built out your entire brand kit. Yeah, sorry. I still have a wow moment every time I see this. It's like the process in the past of being able to, like, having to do this is just so manual. Is such a slow process of, in adding the fonts, adding the colors, adding the brand, the different variations of your logos, and you can just do that with a single click now. So super powerful. I'm going to save this brand kit for later use. And there you can see it right there, up there with the rest of my brand kits. I've got a bunch of different brand kits, as you can see. Any brand kit that you select essentially informs your AI agent, as you build with the AI agent, what brand kit to use when it's building. So yeah, we spoke a lot about manual editing. Let's go back to where we started with AI building. So we already know that the agent is very capable of building beautiful landing pages, as we can see right over here. We'll go into the preview and see how responsive these are, by the way. As you can see, fully responsive by switching through the previews. But let's see how, I guess, specific we can get with these edits, right? Because that's, I think, an area of question that I see people asking me when they've poked around Leadpages is, what if I want to make a very specific edit? Well, you can do that very easily by selecting the area or the element that you want to edit. So in this case, let's say I want to tighten up the typography in this area. Okay, so this is going to be give this a shot. I'm not sure how well it will do in this session but let's try this. Or actually, let's try something a bit more generic. Yeah, let's try add a fourth card in this row over here. So I'm selecting the div, I'm going to the AI agent, and you can see that the selection is tagged in the chat itself. So from here, I can simply go add a fourth section, and the agent will get to work. Now, one thing to note is that while the agent is working, you can't edit manually on the page because it has to complete its task. Otherwise, you might interfere with it. So we block you from editing while the agent's working. We can see the fourth section already added. There we go. It's pretty quick. Super cool. We've got some questions coming in. I'll poke into the comments area every so often as I'm building, but see where we are at time. So half hour in. Can one of the edits be very significant change? So Thomas has got a question here. Can any of the edits be significant change? Of course, like, depending on what we just showed you now was an edit on a specific selection. And I think, that's super important to to have the ability to be very specific, and you do that through the selection. What you're asking is, can we do significant changes? For sure. So if you want to restyle the entire page, perhaps you want it to be a light theme, let's try that. You can definitely do that. I've tested this many times. Let's go ahead and try this out. So I'm going to turn the whole top fold of this page into a light theme. Turn the whole top fold of this page into a light theme. So there's my prompt. I'm going to remove the selection area. This is a bit of an important piece, is that you might want to always look at your chat to see if it's speaking to a specific selection. And if it is, just remove it, right? So you're talking to the entire page itself without being specific. Light beam, that was my voice prompt. Let's see what happens. I was meant to say light theme. Just burning credits at this point. Okay, it's editing.
I'm very curious what it comes up with for that.
Yeah, me too. Open to interpretation. What is a beam? One thing that our engineers are doing an incredible job when it comes to our AI agent is modeling the agent itself, right? Like trying to adhere to every scenario and every edge case. And some of the great work that's coming from the team is being able to identify, for example, when the agent may feel that there's lots of ways to interpret something, perhaps it will come back with a question or elicit more information. So you will see the agents constantly improve and with every version of Leadpages that we release, right? So here's the iteration it came up with. So it interpreted beam as a literal beam shining down. Almost feels very very dramatic, that's for sure. But I like it. I like that it's done that. Let's go back to what Thomas has asked. Let's try light theme. Change the top fold to a light theme. I've just been so lazy to type these days. I don't know, Stacey, have you been using any voice prompting recently? Or are you
I have
still typing?
not. I still type, but just watching you do it makes me want to do it, because typing, it does take me like a couple minutes and then I go back and redo it. But I might try the voice prompting.
Yeah, give it a shot. There's a tool that you can use the voice prompt, of course, that's inbuilt and it works beautifully. I'm just out of habit. I use a third-party tool that is built into my Mac OS system that just has a single shortcut on my keyboard to run the voice prompt. So I've just been so used to doing that.
Eric, you're so much faster than me. I like write the comment and then you get it in there much faster than I do. So thanks for answering.
I mean, we could have Eric on the call. We can actually add him if he's free. We can invite him to the studio. Let's see if we can add him. I send him the invite. Let's see if he wants to join. He might be busy. So I think I sent the invite, but Thomas has a funny question. Can I have like 1.5 million credits?
I would
So
love
I
to.
can't.
I would love to see how many things you'd create with that many credits. That'd be a lot of work.
There we go. So we just got our final light theme at the top fold. So hopefully, Thomas, that answers your question on the top fold. You can definitely make more broader edits with the agent for sure. Cool. Okay, let's go back to all the pages. Did everyone remember one of my earlier prompts? I opened a bunch of tabs starting this out because I wanted to show you, for those people who are just starting a business, perhaps they might not have a brand guideline. They might not have any brand assets. You could, guess what? You could use the page builder to build out your brand guideline. there's nothing stopping you from doing that. And that's exactly what I've just done over here. So what we have over here essentially is a brand guideline for a concept brand called Sin. I didn't even give the brand a name. I just asked it to create a AI automations service, and it came up with this. Super cool. Do you think that's like I don't know how you feel about this, Stacey. Do you think this is it's one of those use cases of Leadpages, the latest Leadpages, that's probably not that obvious, right?
I would say not obvious, and it's super good for even if you aren't starting a new business, if you're wanting to do a rebrand, I feel like this is such a fun exercise to do just to see what a refresh would look like without having to pay an agency a lot of money to do so. And you could just play with it. So a very cool use case.
No, I love that. That's actually a really good point. Is that experimenting? Because like you might be, I find a lot of brands, stepping into the digital age. Like obviously, I mean, we've been in the digital age for decades now, but um, it's brands don't evolve fast enough. Is what I'm trying to say, and I think you can end up with a brand that's a bit stale, and with the leverage you have now with AI, there's nothing stopping you from rebranding, as you said, Stacey. Like, so yeah, give it a test run. I found it really cool that it came up with these textures. So it's got these, I think the prompt that I gave it was glitchy AI automations platform with a retro futuristic feel. There's a specific movie that comes to mind. I won't say Back to the Future, but more, yeah, it's got that aesthetic. There's a mix of a lot of things going on here. Terminator-esque, maybe Matrix, but yeah. So we've got
Yeah.
definitely Matrix, right?
Yeah, Matrix is what I was thinking.
Yeah. So I'm going to publish this page. One click to publish, and then we'll use the rest of we've got a whole hour together. I thought we'll use the last 30 minutes to talk about sort of the optimized features, which, as mentioned, the very early on in the session, is that build, optimize, analyze, right? That is the three pillars of the latest version of Leadpages, is to help you be able to not just build landing pages that is on brand, that is beautiful, that is ready to turn customers into raving fans, but also be able to continuously optimize those pages so that it has the best possible performance it can offer to your campaigns, and then using that flywheel to continuously analyze through the insights panel. So I will leave as they say, leave the best for last, right? We'll come to that in a moment. But let's take this brand kit. I will copy this and we'll paste this into, now that it's published, actually, wait a minute, let's copy the link from here. That's what we wanted to do, actually. Copy preview link. And just a note, for those of you guys looking for specific questions and answers on how to publish the page, how to do a lot of the things we're doing here. Of course, this is a free form type of approach in these office hour sessions. But if you're looking for very targeted ways to learn, check out the YouTube channel. We're rolling out a bunch of tutorials there. We have, I think, our first 5 tutorials on there already on building, and some of the optimized features are slowly trickling in. So check that out. But with that said, we're going to go back into the page builder. So we've covered AI building, manual building, and now we'll build one more page with this custom brand guideline that we just generated. So again, build a landing page for an AI automations agency to collect leads. Paste the content and we'll start building. I'll go through some of the pages that I created earlier. Oh, forgot about this one. Stacey, this was your, the idea you had.
Oh yeah, the prompt.
Super cool. It's sourced images. So we have 2 models running through the system. We've got a combination of AI image generation as well as royalty-free images. Of course, the idea is to get something in the page so that you can get a look and get a feel for the aesthetic and style, and then it's up to you to go in and customize. Let's go ahead and show you a couple of things that you might want to know when it comes to like customizing the page. Let's say we take this image over here. It's behind a div, and And so if you go to the edit, you might not notice the ability to edit the image. So in those circumstances, when you're trying to look for something to manually edit, you might not want to go into the AI agent to just burn a bunch of credits. Head over to the layers panel, top right hand. You can't miss it. Every section has the layer button at the top, anchored at the top right. And as you go and scroll down section by section, the layer panel, this layer, the layer panel essentially updates based on the section you're on, right? So you can see it's pinned to the specific section and it scrolls with that section and then moves on to the next one. So in the context of this, we're currently on the hero. If I do click any of these individual layers, you'll also notice that you'll select those layers. But on top of that, let's say we go into this div, it'll auto scroll to those specific layers too. So the whole goal of this builder, you may notice, is like the philosophy is to give it as minimum UI surface area as possible to make the focus all about the landing page, right? Because that's what's important here. Like, we used to have like sort of old software, right, has always been UI heavy, right? We just had these panels, and I don't know how you felt about building pages before, Stacy. It feels like a lot of the panels would take over a lot of the viewing surface area, right?
Yes. Yes.
And so, yeah, I'm really happy with like the ability, and I think we've seen this feedback as well. The the overwhelming real estate that we get on the landing page itself, right? And you only need to see these panels when you need them, right? So whether it's the ad panel, the brand kit, the optimize, the insights, and the layers, right? So anyway, going back to what I was trying to solve, into the layers panel, if you go into, you can't select an image. Not to worry, go into your layers panel, unravel these divs, and then you can select what you're looking for. And you'll notice the tag. So here we have an image tag, and so you'll just have to kind of shuffle through these layers to find what you're looking for. So in this case, I was trying to select this image, open up the div. A div is a container for those people who are less technical, wondering what a div is. Selecting the image, we can go right in there. And by the way, you can two ways of editing it. You can go to the selection itself and click the edit icon there, or use the move icon and place it wherever you like. Or you can just right click it in the layer panel, call up the same edit panel right there. So super useful. And then you've got all the options you need when it comes to images, whether it's cover, fill, inherit, the alt text, for those of you SEO wizards out there. And we also have a cropping tool. So if you want to get a sharper crop of whatever you're looking at, just go into the inspector tooling, hit crop, and you're in. Layout as well. If you want to play around with more so like the layout of the page, whether it's adding padding or margin, playing around with the dimensions of the page based on it's a relative sizing that we use. So 100% means that it fills out 100% of the entire container. But look, if you're ever looking to manually edit, it's available, and it's just about playing with these properties to see what you can get. And at any point, if you want to try to get something, fix something, ask the agent. Pick what you're looking for and ask the agent to run anything you require.
I ask the agent for everything. That's just like the easiest way for me. I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna ask the agent. It just makes my life easier.
Well, there's two types of customers, Stacy, I think. So, and there'll be some of those people that might want to, that are bold and daring, that want to go back into manual editing tools. And there'll be some that will just retreat to the agent. You know what? I will say, full transparency, despite having a design background, I much prefer talking to the agent to get my work done.
Yes, but there are the two different kinds. I know the design people, and I do like that we can do both, because there's sometimes there's just like small changes I want to make. That's just like, oh, I'll just do that really quick. But
Yeah.
for the most part, when I'm wanting to make some big edits, agent's the way to go.
Agreed. All right, we're going back into, I can't even remember what we were doing here. We ran a prompt, I think, Oh, this was the page. Yes. So this was okay. So again, I know I had two very similar looking brands. This is the brand I generated earlier in the beginning of the session. I asked for those who may be joining recently, if you just joined, we built out a page, a brand guideline page, just by prompting, right? Which is a completely hidden use case of Leadpages, but it's just something that I like to do is build my brand directly on there, and then I'll copy the link which we made live. And what we did was we went to another tab and we asked our agent to build a page based on that link that we have for that brand guideline, and it pulled all of the styling references from that URL, and it built this. Super cool, super on brand, right? And yeah, so we're last 50 minutes, so let's rush through these optimize features. For optimize, I'm going to go to a live page that I'm actually running a campaign for. And so going back to what I was saying earlier, I am dog fooding for my own use cases. And this is a little landing page I created for a little community I'm building. And you can see over here, we have sort of the mental model of our builder is that on the left-hand side of your agent is sort of your building tools, your ad library, your brand kit. On the right-hand side is your CRO tools, optimize and insights. And when you come into optimize, a good place to start is just going into the home panel. The home panel will show up this agent at the very top, giving you a quick insight into how your page is doing. And you can always refresh that to see an updated version of this, but we can see a 1.7% conversion on this page, which is solid. I prefer that to be a little bit higher, but yeah, according to our agent, is that it's solid. And it's flagged that our AEO needs work, right? Super incredible feature that we're very proud of, because I've seen the benefits of this myself, and I'm not just hyping this feature for no reason. I've truly seen the benefits of it. Like, you can, with this one feature, you can literally run a scan, see the score, and then automate fixes for it, right? And so a very quick win and low lift way to quickly optimize your page is just go to home and run your AEO scanner. I believe available across all paid plans. Eric might correct me on that if that's changed, but that's what I'm aware of. And yeah, so we'll go ahead and hit fix all with AI and see what happens. It takes those fixes into the AI agent and runs it as a prompt.
Amazing. I don't know if any of you have been in marketing a long time, but usually this is 3 tools and you're manually doing the edits yourself, and there's no insight or history behind each of them. You have to go back between the 3 tabs. So this has been very cool to see come to life inside of Leadpages.
Right? Spot on, Stacey. Like, yeah, you have to hire like all these different tools, right? Like all these platforms just to run this one use case. It's mind-blowing when you think about it. Like the fact that we have it all in one place, and then it's also just one click, and then also the fixes itself, like you don't even have to handle those. Like you can just watch it, fix it. So you're essentially just playing director, I guess. So like, just
Yes,
observing.
the builder works for you. So you can be like, my favorite thing is to do this and then like work off into the side and work on something else and then go back and be like, oh, yep, it fixed it.
Yep, 100%. Super cool. So yeah, I think it's running still. While it's doing that, we can also, okay, it's done the checks actually. So sometimes with these fixes, it will cover most of them. There are some bits that would require input. So you can notice the agent has flagged those 5 and 6 require us to make some decisions, which I won't make on this demo today. But just going back to the homepage, anyone notice that? Does anyone remember what my score was before?
39, right?
Yep, you got that right. So 39 in the 30 range. And we're scoring this against 4 pillars: reach, clarity, substance, and authority. And I think a very important highlight for this when it comes to AEO is that oftentimes people are looking at AEO and it's like, okay, great, I'll just show up for AI search. But it's way more than that, because ultimately by default, if you're optimizing for AEO, you're also optimizing for SEO. You're also optimizing for paid ad campaigns. You're optimizing for social media sharing. Because all these fixes and the signals that it's looking at to roll out these fixes touch all those different areas. So it's just such a powerful way of optimizing your page. But 63 is great. You know, if I wanted to spend more time going through those individual issues that it flagged, then I can do that. But we'll move on. So that's AEO right there in the home tab in Optimize. Moving on, experiments. So experiments is a one-stop shop place for you to run different variants of your page. So typical use case, everyone will be likely familiar with your normal A/B testing, right? So you can run A/B tests right from this tab. And we can also do multivariant testing as well if you want to generate a C variant and a D variant. I think we go up to D variant at this point, but multivariant testing is also available. And the cool thing about how we run our A/B testing is that it's all automated. You can, because I already have an A/B test, let me just do it on a separate page just to demo it. So let's go into experiments on this page. Very important when it comes to any sort of experiments, whether it's A/B testing or personalized, which is the other part of the experiments feature, is adding a goal. Without a goal, you're tracking nothing essentially. As in, where did the customers go to then measure the success of those pages? So it is important to set a goal. From a goal, you can choose whether it's a single event that attributes to the goal, or if it's a funnel, which is multiple events that then contribute to that one goal. I'm going to go with single goal, and we'll choose form submission, which is the obvious one. Do I even have a form on this page? I hope so. Ooh, panels are draggable, by the way. If at any point you're like, oh, I want this to move out of the way so I can see what I'm looking at, that's why we made it draggable. So yes, we do have a form in here. So optimize, form submission, save that goal. We're now inside of A/B testing. What I wanted to show you here is how easy it is to build a B variant. Back in the day, you would duplicate a page and then think of 101 ideas to then come up with the B variant. Do you remember those days, Stacey?
Yes, and where you're just changing one headline, one word. Yeah.
So it's definitely a pain. We've automated all of that for you. So you can generate the B variant through a prompt. If you want to go old school, we've given you that option too. Just generate the B variant, duplicate the A, and then give you a starting point from this existing variant. Or you can just prompt it. Or guess what? Our agent suggested a bunch of different things to test based on the analysis of the page, right? So these are validated tests that you can rely on. Let's actually go with one of these. Got something here, sharpen the hero headline to lead with outcomes, high, right? So you've even got a test score as well, which is really powerful. Go ahead and create that test and see what happens. So again, everything comes back to the agent when it comes to these generation processes, and coming back to the agent to see what we're optimizing. There we go. So we've got a more, I think, outcome-led copy at the top. So cut 20 hours of manual work this week, right? So beautiful, right? Very sharp copy. And this is pretty much ready to go. I couldn't have thought of a variant with this. Like, obviously, I mean, even if you're using your LLM, right? Let's just say, everyone's using an LLM today. You'd have to go through all these tabs, right? You like open the tab, prompt it like, hey, generate me a variant of this headline. And then it goes through the whole kind of, process of, eliciting more information. Okay, what's your landing page about? And then talking about it. This does it all for you in one place, right? So you don't have to open up another tab in your LLM to then give it context. It's got the context right here to just generate what you need. And then you're in. We got our B variant. We can now hit start test, and we're off to the races, right? Collecting data, and then we can just see what happens, right? When was the last time you ran a A/B test, Stacey?
Last week I have a partner page, and I had a few different variants run on it.
Nice.
And I
Cool.
did use the the suggested prompts that Leadpages gave me instead of coming up with my own. I love easiness, you know?
100%. No, I love that. I love that. And it's cool to see like our own internal team sort of dogfooding of these features to see, what's most convenient. Because I totally agree. Like, just use what's there. If you have something specific, you've got those options there, but like one click away from a high, like highly flagged sort of test variant that you can create, right? But by our agents is a no-brainer. So we got personalized as well. So we've got 5 minutes on the clock. We'll close off with this. Personalization is a way to essentially tailor your pages to the oncoming traffic based on audience, device, source, or location, right? And it's very simple to set this up. You just have to go into personalize, pick an element. For example, let's say we want to go with headline. We can do that. We select on page what we're personalizing. Let's say it's a headline in this case. So, and you can do multiple different elements too. So if you want to do the sub headline, we can pick that as a preset and then pick the sub headline. And then again, we're picking these presets to give the AI agent context, right? So CTA, and then so now these are the three elements we're personalizing. We can then go ahead and add our audiences, right? And we have with the ability to actually identify anonymous audiences as well, and enrich that data too, which I believe comes in specific plans. Go check out the pricing plans for that to enable audience insights. But with that, we can go ahead and pick something simple like Facebook visitors, for example. Let's say we wanted to personalize for Facebook visitors, perhaps for UK audience, something I did in one of my pages. We hit optimize, takes it back to the agent, builds the pages, just like what we did with the B variant. And we should see those optimizations soon. Nice. So we got 2 optimizations. One thing to note, all of your variants will always be available on the bottom left over here. Let's see if they created that. Okay, let's see. Might have been a little bit of a glitch in the system. Okay, there might be some issue with my credits, but I wasn't able to generate the variations. But essentially, that's what personalize does, is that when you personalize, you create variants, and they will appear just like any other variant over here. So you have A, B, and personalization will be based in a specific way. So it'll be called out with a specific icon. You won't be able to miss it. But yeah, that's how personalization works. If you want to do that, to again just have better performance across your pages. DTR, for those of you marketing geeks out there that want to personalize text to your ad campaigns, you can do that. I've got this example over here in my page, get 50% off today. If we actually do that and then pick the customized link with the UTMs enabled for that dynamic text replacement, you'll see it right over here in the live link, get 50% off today, right? So if you want that personalization, add to page personalization, it's a great way of doing it. So a very simple way of doing it. Cool. Traffic. Yep. So you got all of your traffic data coming over here. Let's go to my page because we actually have some real traffic there. We have traffic footing. So we got the conversion rate, page views, visitors, conversion rate, and then we can see the different sources. And so this will start to enrich depending on where the sources are coming from. I have this specific page link on YouTube, hence why we're seeing it as those specific sources. And we have audience, and then heat map as well. So heat map, super nice touch to have that, where you can see how people are interacting with your page. 2 clicks right over here. So we're seeing that in this page. Yeah, so that covers everything. Also, the builder is mobile responsive. So if you wanted to sign into Leadpages on your phone and take it for a spin, let me see if this works. This is what it looks like on mobile. So tap away, my friends. You can get on your mobile device on iOS, Android, open up a browser, sign into Leadpages, and you can still build right in from here. Come on, make some noise. That's
amazing.
right. Thank you, Stacey.
No, I remember like maybe like 4 years ago. I was trying to edit something on a page on my
Yeah.
phone, and it was terrible, and I remember thinking, like, "It should be easy. I should be able to just change this really quick." But now we can, which makes me really happy. And heat maps, I've been wanting heat maps forever, so
Right.
very, very
It's
cool.
funny because I'm seeing like Thomas say, "No way." I almost feel like I should have started the whole session with just this one thing. Like, by the way, guys, it's mobile responsive. I've got it all backwards, people. Something to keep in mind is, look, office hours. I've said this before. It's bi-weekly, so Stacey and myself or someone from the team will be running these bi-weekly, and you can come and connect with us. I'm going to show you what's new, show you what's coming, and lots more. Stacey, do you have any final thoughts that you want to share? Final words, or anything like that?
I would love for people to give us feedback at marketing. I'll put this in there, marketing@leadpages.com, just for what you want to see on these office hours. Or if you have questions, Marielle brought up our reviewing landing pages. We did that in the past. So maybe give us some suggestions on wanting to do that in the future. Um, I would love to get all that feedback.
Fantastic, love it. I'm just going to do one more round of question scanning. I think, Stacey, you seem like you've covered pretty much everything from what I can see over here, right?
Eric's covered a lot of it, but yes, I think we got most of it. Eric's just so
Fantastic.
fast.
Yeah, I've got something here from Yvonne, just again from our marketing team. She's clarified DTR is dynamic text replacement. Thanks for that, Yvonne. And personalization it includes mobile personalizing, but not just mobile too. Like, you can personalize it. Oh, yeah, Eric's literally answered that question as you said, Stacey.
Yeah, he just is so fast.
Yeah, we need him in these sessions next time. He'll be on it. Um, Perfect, guys. Thank you so much for attending.
Yes,
And
thank you. I'm excited for the next the next sessions.
yeah, and thank you, Stacey, for co-hosting with me. And yeah, looking forward to the next sessions, as you said. And bring all of your questions for the next one. If you enjoyed this session, let us know what you'd like to see in future sessions, and also give us feedback. Keep the feedback coming. Stacey, you've got the link over there to email us. So yeah, really excited to see your thoughts and how you feel about the new lead pages. And yeah, I will leave it there.
All right, thanks everyone.
Bye.